are Tyrians. We are many races, several professions. We practice the arts of combat as well as healing. We have foes, and we fight them without mercy. And it's time for us to claim back what is ours. It's time for us to claim back Tyria from the terror of the Elder Dragons. We can't go on living our lives in fear. We have to fight. We have to make a stand. This is our story.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 51 of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast. Let's make sure I'm not on mute. I'm not. The Guild Wars 2 podcast for fans by fans. On this week's show, we pretty much were going to have an actual original topic up until today when ArenaNet's like, hey guys, want to know everything that's coming out next week and give you a ton of news? So now we're going to talk about that instead. So I'm here with Naveen and Kaysee. And
Hello.
hopefully Kaysee's stuff's... Yeah, she's there. She is. All right. Can we hear her, though?
No, we can't.
She's on mute?
Maybe.
Um,
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Everyone has to drink now.
I've had so much trouble this morning when you started playing the song. My other computer, I really forgot that I use one monitor for two computers, and it started playing all the sounds. And I'm like, oh my god, mute everything, otherwise everyone's gonna hear everything. Oh my god, what a morning.
It's okay. We forgive you.
But it's okay now.
So, just to give everybody a little bit of a heads up, Kaysee's having technical difficulties. I actually have vertigo, so...
Hello. Hola. Blah, 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 orchestra.
So, if I move too quickly or anything, the room spins and I get extremely sick. So, didn't even know that you could just get it out of nowhere, but it happens. But I'm dedicated to Chronicles of Tyria and our fans, so here I am, nonetheless. I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's essentially the feeling that you are drunk and there's movement happening all around you when none is happening, but you're wide awake and perfectly fine in control of your mental faculties. It's frightening because I woke up, room was spinning, I laid back down, the room kept spinning. Not cool. Anyway, that's enough of that. We're going to talk about Aetherblade and Sea of Sorrows and some other news and all that fun stuff. No spoilers though. As best we can. That
Well,
not happen.
Unless you're friends with ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2 on Facebook, because they're very good at spoilers. Although they said, please don't spoil anything, don't say anything in the comments, don't spoil stuff for the game, and then they just spoiled the fucking thing.
Oh, Naveen, that face.
Like this.
I swear my librarian made that face in high school.
Don't mind if I'm eating, guys. I didn't get to eat all day because I couldn't move, and you can't drive when you have vertigo.
Whoa.
I made it an exit, and I had to pull over and throw up on the side of the throughway.
Yeah, you poor thing.
I was eating.
Are you feeling dizzy now? Because you moved your head a little too far.
Yeah, a little bit. It was worth it, though, for the point.
It was worth it.
So, question of the week. Got no responses. No gold for you guys. Moving on.
What?
Yeah, nobody responded.
Bad audience. Bad.
Bad audience.
The question of the week was, what do you think the Mariners' plaques are going to be used for? Which actually now we know, but we didn't know then. Nobody responded. So...
Wah, wah.
I have a bucket somewhere. Oh, God, gotta stop turning. Jaxos, I have a bucket, so I can just throw up and keep casting. It'll be good. I'll mute my mic. We're fine.
Stop it, lag.
Anyway, we didn't receive any mail either, so we're just going to jump into shoutouts right off the bat. But before then, if you are listening to us on iTunes, and you'd like to watch us live, you can watch us every Thursday night on twitch.tv/chroniclesoftyria, where we do this show. Sick or healthy, rain or shine, we're always here.
Canada, States, or Australia.
Except for those times when we're not here. But we try to tell you guys that ahead of time.
No, we don't.
Well, I can give you a heads up that 2 weeks from now, we won't be doing a show. Because it actually falls right on the 4th of July, which those Americans know it's a big holiday for us, and I actually will be away with family. So 2 weeks, the 4th, we won't be doing a live show. We'll still have the other content coming out, lore casts and lore bites and things like that.
Or maybe I'll just log in with Kaysee and we'll make out and stuff.
Whatever, I'll find a way.
Yay! That was the plan.
Wow, your microphone does a weird sound though.
When Kaysee gets excited, her microphone statics out.
This is like,
No, that's actually what I sound like when I get excited.
wow, robot Kaysee.
But I want to thank you guys too for your support on the lore bites and the lore shows, because everybody seems to be a fan. I've heard people say that CoTPodcast is back, apparently, but we never went anywhere. But I feel like that's in reference to the fact that we're actually doing lore-related stuff, but we're separating it out.
Who said that?
Somebody on Reddit. It's Reddit, whatever.
Hey, Reddit. CLT was always here! It was Naveen that was gone. Now that Naveen is back, CLT is back. Oh!
Well, I don't know if they want to just talk about nonsense
I'm kidding.
for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We're not talking about nonsense. We're talking about Guild Wars 2 news.
No, now we're on point.
Whatever.
Alright, Kaysee, how about shoutouts?
I haven't actually had a chance to play with very many people lately because I've just been doing my own things like...
That's horrible. I don't know what your mic is doing, but it's like I'm being electrified, like... That's not funny.
A little bit. Also, I'm being totally rude and talking while I'm eating. But, my wife brought me home Panera bread, so I had soup. This is what's the remainder of my bread bowl.
I'm just eating goldfish.
So.
They're my sons, but I don't care.
Like I said, you gotta eat your fishes because they're so delicious.
Stop it,
I eat them every day, and my mom says that's okay. It's in the song, so you're good.
Is that better?
Nope.
Nope. We'll just have to deal, I think.
Okay. People on iTunes, deal. So that was my warning.
You were okay at the beginning. Something happened mid-call.
Yeah. Yay! We can't hear you!
Yay! We're waiting on your shoutouts, Kaysee, so can't do anything if you're on mute.
Unmute the mic. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But people are drunk now.
Kaysee, did you mute yourself on the Skype call? Did you mute your mic physically?
Is that better?
Yeah! Oh. What'd you unmute?
Oh my god.
She's gonna cry. Don't cry, Kaysee. We'll send you in-game gold.
There's so many technical difficulties this morning. No, this is the... I went into my preferences to see if it was my preferences, and so I changed something in there, and then I realized my cord had become unplugged. So I went and plugged in my cord, and I was like, yay, I fixed it! And then my preferences were changed, so I realized I had to go back into my preferences, and oh my god, I'm crying.
But yay, now it's working.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're back, right, guys?
Right.
We're back. We didn't go anywhere. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Kaysee.
This isn't water. This is vodka, just to get me through the show. My shout-outs. Oh yes, I haven't been on because I've been doing some stuff in real life, which is my mornings, which which means that I have only been in the afternoon, which means I haven't really been playing with people very much, and I've been busy doing other stuff. So I have no shout-outs. I'm sorry.
Drink.
But I would like to shout out to all the authors of Chronicles of Tyria who have just been totally awesome and totally patient and wonderful and great people. And I've been reading their stories, and they're so good. So please definitely go to Chronicles of Tyria and read the fan fiction and check it out.
Fan fiction!
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
I have one shout out to a Norn that I met in Divinity's Reach. Fruitalicious Gum is her character name.
Kaysee just choked.
I shouted out to her because I was playing on my Ranger, and she came up to me and said, "Oh my God!" Actually, I don't have the screenshots on my other computer, but it was like, "Oh my God, your armor is absolutely flawless. Your character is perfect. I just think you should know that." And I said, I take a lot of time. I spent a lot of research on Argosoft, looking at all the different armor types, trying to find the right combination. The die set, it's a process. So I said, thank you. And she said, yeah. And I was like, I'm going to shout out to you on our podcast. And then she said, oh my God, you have a podcast? And I was like, Chronicles of Tyria. And somebody mentioned, like, oh my God, this thing with Marjorie Delacqua and all this, but we're not going to spoil too much. But they're like, oh my God, I love Logan Thackeray. And I was like, funny enough, if you love Logan Thackeray, and I don't know why you do, but if you do, you can go to Chronicles of Tyria and look up the parody that our own Naveen made of Iconopop's I Love It. And
it's not a parody. It's a love song.
It's a parody of Iconopop's I Love It.
Legally, I think it has to be a parody, Naveen.
Yes. So I said, but then she's like, oh my God, I love that song. And then she watched it, and then she goes, oh, but I hate Logan Thackeray. And I said, we are the best of friends. Shout out to you. And I noticed that she liked, she was an RP-related person. I said, hey, well, you like RP, you like fan fiction. You should check out Chronicles of Tyria. And she said, oh my God, I love fan fiction. And I said, well, we're awesome. And she said, I'm going to check all of that out. So she did. And hopefully she's watching live. If not, maybe she'll watch us on iTunes or watch us on YouTube and listen to us.
It's funny because I was going to say Lag is throwing away business cards, virtual business cards too. But then Vangel in chat room said Lag has in-game business cards now, and I'm like, oh, that's what I was thinking. So I wonder how many people were thinking that. Okay.
Also, like to shout out to this winners of Drawing with Joel, the Asura contest, which I don't know if you guys had seen.
Do I have to shove the camera to you?
I have to. Well, you can. I have to go.
It's already shoved.
Okay, I have to pull up. Actually, I don't have the images ready right now, so I'm just going to go into Joel's video, and that'll be that. So it was Alacrity Thief and Joe were the winners. So.
Oh yeah! Oh man! We have some very talented people in there.
Definitely.
Community. Yes.
Podcast? I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was Alacrity Thief here on the right, the last minute submission, and this is Joe over here that she loved because it was so cute. And myself and others have said that they really like Alacrity Thieves because you can actually pick out what armor and weapons he's using or she's using based on how they drew it. Like, you can clearly tell that these are the molten gloves, and this is the helm from Honor of the Waves, or as some of us in Chronicles of Tyria accidentally call it, Healing of the Winds. That's only a few small group of people actually get that joke. That's not the right image for me.
No, it isn't. That's okay. We actually, Alacrity Thief is in a chat room right now, so congratulations to you, dude. Or chick. Or you're very talented.
Yes.
Yeah, your perspective, like, I'm so amazed. It's really not very often you see people get the perspective that right, like being able to have a forefront image and then also having like the middle and then the background as well. That's talent, man. That is talent.
Yeah, that's actually another thing I liked was all of the inquest that were around. It was pretty great. I'm a dude. Alacrity says. But thank you for my stuff at alacritystudios.com. Yeah. So
alacritystudios.com for you people who are listening on iTunes. Go check us out.
In the link in the description on YouTube as well. So be sure to check out. I've actually been through the site. Lot of awesome art there. Definitely check it out.
Nice.
Very nice.
Comics.
Yeah, there's some pretty great stuff there. I would definitely check it out.
You should contact us. Okay.
Anyway.
That laugh.
And by the way, just as a kind of a preemptive thing, if you guys are a winner on one of the Drawing with Joels, let us know if you have a website or a DeviantArt page or something like that so we can promote you guys once we show off your winning art. And again, Monday, actually it was more Tuesday due to technical difficulties. It's been a technical difficulty week. Drawing with Joel number 3 went up, which is about char. So if you have char drawings, make sure you submit them in.
Char!
Not charm.
Wrong show!
But how about you, Dean? Do you have any shout-outs?
I have one! I was casually going into, our pages and stuff, and of course there's a lot of people who commented on our videos and stuff, but I won't shout out to them unless they specifically ask for one. So if you want a shout out, leave your in-game name and server. There you go. But we did get a shout out. Wait, let me get my notepad here. There we go. On iTunes. What? So I was looking on iTunes. I know, right? And the funny thing is, I was looking iTunes US. Okay, no shout out. iTunes Canada. No shout out. United Kingdom? No shout out. Australia? A shout out? What?
Yes!
From Australia? And it's by Hamface. I'm pretty sure I've seen this name before. I think
Last show.
Yeah. I'm really bad with names anyways, so it's not because I don't love you, I do. So Hamface said my, rated 5 stars, of course. The go-to Guild Wars 2 podcast. My favorite Guild Wars 2 podcast. A little silly at times, but not out of control. The hosts have a good time with each other without going too far off track. Really? Really?
Yeah, we have a good time together.
What? Don't go up. Whoa,
okay,
what?
guys.
Naveen, stop playing that music.
CoTP is a great way to find out everything you need to know about what's going on in Guild Wars 2 at the moment. I've found the show to be a great resource for keeping up with the latest, especially when I haven't been able to get online for a few weeks at a time. I particularly love the mix of accents. Having an Aussie on the show is refreshing, which shows Guild Wars 2 really does have a global community. Hammond at Hamface. Thank you, Hammond! And that was my shout out. There you go.
Yeah, and that's another kind of reminder. If you do listen to us on iTunes, please rate and so we can, talk to you about you guys. Because if you listen on iTunes and don't watch us live or comment on our YouTube channel, we have no way to shout out to you unless you leave us reviews.
Yep. And you guys keep talking because I have a baby crying in the background. Be right back.
Okay. I've got a very delicious chicken chipotle sandwich here.
That was what people tune into Chronicles of Tyria for. Lag diet.
Today on the show, what is lag eating?
I can just imagine this is a delicious chipotle that I've had, and as you can see, there's a little bit of corn poking out the side that adds this beautiful texture to it, and also you'll be glad to know that this only has 1,000 calories.
Well, you see, not only that. See, if we were if this was a legitimate thing and not a joke, then I'd have to do like, what is Lag eating? And I'd have to eat stuff. And then we'd play that for the iTunes people to see if they could guess what I was eating just from the sound of it. And then I'd display it live for everybody on the show.
I think there's some flaws in your ideas, but don't worry. I'll let you continue to dream.
Alright, so, how about COT news, Kaysee?
COT news. We need like a sound jingle. We need more sound jingles because I love Naveen's sound jingle. So we need something like COT news, hey, or something like that. So I just did it for
somebody was recording that or pulls it off of YouTube for us, and we'll make that the soundbite.
I have published, this week we have, Anavari and Amber have published their stories. If you're following either of their stories, this is a really good continuation. Anavari's story has got lots of action in it, lots of blood and gore, and I personally like that sort of stuff, so it was a really good read. And I will be publishing Naveen's story tomorrow morning, and hopefully some more people will be published later this week. So, yeah, if you're looking for Amber or Anavari's story, check them out. And later this week, more people will be published, including Alicardalina and Lurks.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We're going to move on to the topic for today, which, again, is all of this news that we hear from stuff that's coming out next week. But first, I would like to just kind of draw attention. Unfortunately, I don't have the thread in front of me. But Colin Johansson was quoted, and it harkened back to that original 2013 manifesto that they had, where they were going to outline all the stuff they were going to do in 2013. Colin Johansson mentioned, and I don't want to influence the trading posts. I mean, I do for my own personal gains. But he was quoted recently, and again, I'll have to find the post, but that the ways in obtaining lodestones will be altered sometime towards the end of this summer, making them easier to obtain, because right now, as most of you know that are farming either a legendary or an exotic weapon, lodestones are the worst, because there is no consistent way to get them. You can gamble on bags, you can buy cores, but if it's a pretty popular lodestone, the cores are just as expensive. And then you're dumping laurels into those mystic binding agents, or you're dumping money, or, gold into Elonian wine to convert them. So, definitely keep an eye out for that. I was hoping the second that he posted that comment on the forums that the lodestone prices dropped like crazy, but they didn't. So that was sad.
Yeah, because remember he said something like, oh, in the future the precursors will be easy to retain, and it's like, still waiting on that, so it's going to be a while probably.
But he said the end of the summer. So it's more...
That's a couple of months still.
Yeah, it's a couple of months, but the precursor thing was just like, that's out there. That could be 3 years from now.
That's true.
Live Spartan in the chat says there was another Colin post where he said that he is writing a blog post about what's been happening and what's going to happen for the second part of 2013, and something about transparency. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, end of the summer could mean end of August, but, I'm not in any huge rush to get my lodestones right now. I'd like to have them all, but if I could, rather than spending 3 gold a lodestone, if I could be spending 1 gold a lodestone. I mean, if I could be spending 50 silver a lodestone, I'd be even happier, but...
1 gold a lodestone.
Naveen, don't encourage him to wobble his head.
Seriously, don't.
You don't have to do it.
I know. Anyway. So, but keep an eye out on your lodestones. Watch the trading post. You never know. But let's talk about the new page they released for the content that comes out. It feels like we're getting content every week, doesn't it? I know for people that can't play all the time, it's got to be rough. But you got to look at it from a perspective of they're giving us what seems like, even if it's not a lot, it seems like we're getting new content every week.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot. It's a little too much, in my opinion.
I could see that. But I mean, like I said, you think about Guild Wars 1, like a festival would show up for a weekend and then it was gone. Or a day, in some cases, like Halloween was a day. And you weren't on really that day to get the rewards. I mean, there was some stuff, a week or so out, but, they give stuff. Some stuff's for longer, some stuff is, I will admit, very short.
Yeah. I have a feeling that they're releasing a lot of content because summer started, and that's when most of the people are, done with school.
Yep.
And so they usually play more Guild Wars. Like, we've seen a little bit more activity in the Guild, Guild Rooster.
Yes, it is difficult for people who can't play every day, but I have to admit, if they didn't put this much content in, I think people would really complain, especially for a holiday event. I need more, I've actually noticed that I haven't been playing dungeons so much or anything like that because I'm getting kind of bored, and having this new content just makes sure that it brings me back to the game. And, if it was just like, if it wasn't enough content, I would be kind of like, and this is me who's like still utterly obsessed about the game. I can imagine for people that aren't so obsessed about the game, they need quite a lot of content to bring them back.
And we have the link now from the one Colin Johansson post. Live Spartan in our chat room posted it for us, so I'll make sure we add that to the description. But let's talk Sky Pirates of Tyria. That's the name, which I feel is kind of a weird name.
Yeah. I read it at work, and then the computer at work is in French, so it translated everything in French. So I was like, what are these terms? I don't understand anything. It's not even Guild Wars anymore. So I'm not sure what I read.
Well, if you would like to toss the camera to me.
Toss it good.
That's the only way you toss it, right? So here you go. June 25th, next Tuesday, chaos has come to Lion's Arch, and the culprits responsible for the mayhem have holed up inside their hideout. Inspector Ellen Keel spearheaded the investigation into the murder, and she's now gathering teams of deputies to capture the perpetrator. Better sharpen your weapons and skills. This criminal promises to be a slippery eel.
Yeah, a 6-hour-long slippery eel. Like, we already know who did it.
Well, we're going to keep moving on.
And we're not even the 25th, we're the 20th. What is this?
That's next week.
Okay.
So, new story dungeon, Aetherblade Retreat. So, a hidden entrance to the Aetherblade base. Take the fight to the pirates. Take skill, courage, blah, blah, blah. Fight the captain and the first mate. It's there for, is that 2 weeks?
Huh?
2 weeks. It'll be there, the dungeon. The story dungeon, the Aetherblade Retreat dungeon. Whether or not it's a single-player dungeon or a full-blown 5-player dungeon, we don't know.
Huh.
The 24th, they're going to do a live stream, which I used to not tune into those because I was already playing the content. I mean, this one's coming out beforehand, so we'll get a little bit of a preview. But the live streams are actually pretty fun because they will... Well, I didn't realize they answer a lot of questions on the live streams from the people that are watching. So you could get a lot of information you might not have known otherwise. Sea of Sorrows, officially, the novel, next Tuesday. What's that?
I'm pre-ordering right now. Like, right this second, I realize I haven't pre-ordered yet. So I'm pre-ordering.
I'm going to do that too.
So is Naveen, and I will be doing it after I get through this.
No.
I would like to point out that MMORPG.com did have an article about the book. I didn't personally read it because I read as far as where it said spoilers and I stopped. Then I just looked away. We'll post the link with a spoiler warning in the description. So if you want to check that out, MMORPG.com has an article all about this upcoming book. But what's crazy, and we'll get to that in a little bit, is stuff from the book, if I'm understanding correctly, will be in the game, and like they kind of go together.
Mm.
So that comes to this next piece. Sea of Sorrow Scavenger Hunt begins next Tuesday, and this permanent here buzzword there, permanent content. Retrace the steps of Kobaya Mariner. 12 plaques, which our question from
We already
last week.
know where they are.
12 plaques have been set up to honor the history of the city and its founder. You can find the clues to the plaque's location in Sea of Sorrows. So the book will help give you the location of the plaques if you can't find them already. I've seen a whole bunch in Lion's Arch. I'm pretty sure they're all there. But also complete the scavenger hunt to earn 5 skill points. 5 skill points. That's pretty crazy. We don't have any other ways. We haven't been, given additional ways to add them other than buying them from Fractals of the Mists. But if you complete this on a low-level alt, that alt just got 5.
You get skill points, right?
Right, but I mean, this is like, say you go in there with an alt, a low-level alt. That alt just got 5 skill points. You should buy the thing, the Bloodstone Shard. And a new permanent jumping puzzle comes in on July 1st. The Aetherblade ship. Oh.
I'm so excited. Sorry, go on.
An Aetherblade airship is hidden inside a holographic mountain in Gendarin Fields. But I'm assuming, because that's where they talk about the mysterious rock formation that you could see through if you backed up far enough. But find your way in, fight the pirates inside, and prove your prowess using a pair of hard-to-find diving goggles.
Goggles.
So here we got this track down Aetherblade caches. If that sounds familiar, that's because that was the entire delete me category that they deleted out of the game when the Dragon Bash came in. There was find the Aetherblade cache, and if I remember correctly, most of them were in jumping puzzles. So you have to go into the jumping puzzles to find these Aetherblade caches. Scout them out, take a share of the treasure, and earn special achievements. Get a mini first mate Horic. This dude.
Mm-hmm. He's a Norn.
Yeah.
With a cannon.
Yeah.
A cannon.
Funky looking gloves there. Oops. Going ahead. Monocle. Players who face down the deadly Aetherblade captain will have a chance at a new stylish monocle. This dandy piece of headgear is combat ready, tradable, and full of sophistication.
Oh, that is sophisticated.
I'm wondering if it also changes your other eye, because I don't know if that's like a standard color that a human can get as an eye color like that.
No,
with white
I don't
pupil.
think it changes it.
Because some headgear and things will change your eyes, like the anonymity hood that thieves get as a starting gear will change, the way your eyes look, I find. So, who knows? But either way,
The
you could be
nose.
Aetherized rewards. Your journey to the Aetherblade retreat will earn you a chance to rare salvageable materials, a new infinite tonic recipe, and an addition to guaranteed rare item rewards.
Mm-hmm.
During the jumping puzzle will earn you a set of exotic shoulder pads. So it's kind of similar to the way it was with the Mad King's Clock Tower. If you beat that, you got the exotic boots. If you beat this jumping puzzle, you get exotic shoulder pads. July 8th, all the coffers that you could buy go away. So do the Dragon Mini Pack too. This is frightening, but also interesting. They're saying this is going to be the biggest skill and trait update ever.
Yeah, I remember just reading that.
And there's this other post here where they're talking about how they want to break out build diversity, which I think is a good thing, so that you're not running into people. I don't know how many Guardians I've ran around with that all use the altruistic healing build because it's one of the best builds. Well, I'd like to see a lot of diversity. I mean, especially from a PvP standpoint, if you go into a fight and you don't know you're playing against, a Guardian or a Thief or what have you, they could be one of 16 different builds, not whatever the flavor of the month build is that everybody's using right now. So, they talked a lot about trait changes, and I feel a lot of us kind of saw some of this coming, combining some traits together, boosting some, switching up where they show, or what trait line they're in. But that's what scares me, is that they might move some of my traits into different trait lines and totally wreck my build. So really, ArenaNet, I'm okay if you make everything better, but don't screw up any of my builds, please.
Well,
If there's someone at ArenaNet listening right now who's going, I'm going to change Lag's build.
But, they give a couple examples. Elementalists have a new Grandmaster Air trait that allows them to recharge their air attunement. I don't know how useful that would be. But Necromancers have access to the Burning condition, which is kind of different. And Warriors can remove conditions on their Adrenaline Burst skills. And they talk about...
Nice.
Yeah, right? Like, Warriors need more love. Necromancer Death Shroud now has a 5 skill called Tainted Shackles. This calls nearby enemies to be inflicted with conditions and control if they don't take quick action, which leads to a pretty big update. They're adding a brand new condition to the game.
I'm sorry.
What's up?
Ali Cardolino in the chat room, he said he has a monocle, that ArenaNet person watching.
A monocle and a long, thin moustache. Gold moustache.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're going to change the game a little bit by adding a brand new condition called Torment. So
Yes, go ahead.
it works off of movement. It says enemies under Torment will take damage periodically as they move. Or take damage periodically, and as they move, they'll take even more damage. So...
No.
So...
No. The point is that we're meant to move around.
Well, that's the thing. They said they want to play offense. So, Mesmers, Thieves, and Necros will have access to this new condition. So, interesting. They're changing weakness now, which I think makes sense. Because previously, weakness would make your endurance regen slower, and it would make your some of your hits could show up as glancing hits, but it only worked on normal hits, not critical hits. So if you fought somebody with a high crit build, damage build, and high critical chance, your weakness wouldn't do anything if they're critting all the time. So now weakness affects both critical hits and normal hits. So that's good. They tweaked a lot of the stun breaks, they said. Some classes had like too many, they removed some. Some that had none, they shift them around. Because I know certain classes you have one stun break, and you're like, well, if I'm going to play PvP, I need to bring that because I don't have a stun breaker. I'm going to play World versus World. All I have to do is get hit with a stun while I'm trying to run away from a Zerg and all that. So having additional stun breaks is good. But like I said, I'm scared for what it could mean. Oops, I lied. Don't go back to me. Go here. Custom arenas are coming out of beta now. So if you're a PvPer or you want to get into it and do custom arenas, you'll now be able to buy custom arena starter kits, which I'm pumped for. I'm going to be getting one of those, and then everybody can come play in my custom arena.
Woohoo!
And then you guys can just add time to it. I think that's how that works. And they're going to add a Mortar Mastery line in World versus World. And they have some pretty pictures. Take a look at the pretty pictures here. Steampunk armor in very interesting non-steampunky colors, especially this green.
It's because it's not steampunk armor.
Well,
Not
look,
because there's a gear on it that it makes it
that-
steampunk.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think
say
it looks good.
Just say it.
Yeah? I
Yeah.
like the color scheme in the middle here, with the red and the yellow.
Yeah, whatever.
Iron Man.
Not steampunk.
Whoa, nice. There's this. I don't know what that was supposed to represent. I'm still trying to figure out what this is. I think it's a shield? Maybe? Right here? I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's got a sword in his other hand, clearly. But I don't know what that is.
I think it's a shield. That's actually Seraph armor, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ultros is probably a shield.
Yeah, it's a Seraph shield.
Here's some more steampunk armor. Right, Naveen? Steampunk?
Na
Got
na na
gears.
na na, not steampunk.
There's a monocle again.
Yes,
doesn't
quite. Hmm.
Right.
Indubitably.
Another steampunk stuff. and we're back to that Norn mini pet. So that is, excuse me, that's most of the stuff we have for the preview. That's what we have. That Arena didn't spoil on their Facebook page anyway. So what do you guys think about that?
Na 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 na, not steampunk.
I have to be the person who's completely contrary and say that I really like it and I'm super excited and I think it is a really good step and I think it is steam.
Step where?
Meh.
Into Tron?
Well, they've been like they've got a lot of different styles, and they kind of like have to update different styles. And just because not everyone likes steampunk doesn't mean it shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah,
And I think it's a really good step to adding permanent content like the new jumping puzzle. Super excited, and all those sort of things.
Yeah.
I'm eating, so I'm not gonna comment.
Okay.
But
No, I'm excited about that new dungeon thing, though. I'm...
just gotta make sure you get to play it.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since, like Kaysee said before, like we've done any dungeoning at all, because there's so much stuff going on that we're doing our thing, and I really like the single-player instances, but at the same time I feel like it's taking me away from the guildmates. And I'm not spending as much time with them. So.
I have a mixed bag on the single-player instances because Arena or Guild Wars fans flip-flop like you wouldn't believe. We got all this.
Listen to all of them.
Well, I don't listen to any of them. I make my own decisions.
This is the Arena now.
Oh, but like there was the Molten Alliance dungeon, which was part of the Flame and Frost content. But it was a 5-player, full-blown dungeon. Mm-hmm. And people were bitching like crazy because it was a 5-player dungeon, and to experience this new content, I needed to go play with 3 other people, or 3 other people if it's a group of 2, to experience this new dungeon. Well, I mean, it's an MMO. It's a social game.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But there was a lot of bitching about that. And then they made this go-around was all single-player instances. Same thing with Southsun. They had like the main single-player instance and a multiplayer one if you wanted to. Well, now people are bitching that it's taking away from the MMO Party of Heroes experience and that it's a single-player.
Well, there's always going to be someone who's going to complain about everything. I mean,
but you have to keep in mind, it was people who were complaining about the single player might not be the same people who are complaining now. It's probably the people that didn't complain that are complaining now. Like me, I didn't complain about there being a dungeon, and now I'm complaining because it's single player, I
don't know. You just can't win if you're ArenaNet. And that's why they just have to do what they did in Guild Wars 1 and just
develop a thick skin.
Just develop a game.
I think the only thing bad that happened at first is that they wanted to give everything to everyone, and people became greedy, really, really greedy. The players became extremely greedy, and so that's what's happening right now. There's a lot of bitching and complaining, and people. That just makes me think about how people are complaining about Reddit, where everyone's going to complain on Reddit, and now it's the Guild Wars 2 forums. That's all you can read is whine, 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 whine. It's crazy, and that wasn't supposed to happen in the first place. But I think it's their downfall. That's what happened at first. Like, they wanted to give everything to everyone. Well, now that's what's happening.
Yeah.
They bred demons! Oh!
It's such a sad place, the forums, I have to admit. Like I said last week, I went there to go and just talk to people about, Guild Wars and see what people have to say, and then it was just sad. It was just like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
I would, I don't know. There's kind of almost, if you look at it one way, almost a lore reason why some of the stuff's single player, and I like to think of it in that respect. If you've finished your personal story, which I know a lot of people haven't, because the stupid last dungeon, nobody ever wants to run it, where you just hit two, walk away, profit, beat Zaitan. But at the end of that, you basically tell all of Destiny's Edge and Traherne and everyone that, like, you're going to go your own way now. And, like, I'm off, I'm on my own now. When the next dragon threat comes up, we'll meet back up and we'll do this shit. Like, that's the plan.
Do shit.
And, you're kind of off doing your own thing. I mean, everybody's kind of off doing their own thing because everybody has the same story in that respect. But you're off doing your own thing, and, like, you're helping out these refugees in the Flaming Frost, and then all of a sudden, there's a Molten Alliance. I know I can't do this on my own, so I gotta grab 4 other people and let's go do it. Well, Canuck's a little wuss. He has stupid mechanics, but he's a little wuss. I could take him on my own. So I go and do it. This Marjorie Delacqua chick and Ellen Keel need me to help figure out who zapped people or whatever. Well, now I'm gonna go take care of that on my own, because that's how I roll. I don't need anybody else to help me be 5 people running around trying to be a private investigator. It's not gonna work.
No, but the point is it should be like the personal story when you can invite people in with you.
Oh, Kaysee, you're back to static.
Technical difficulties morning in Australia. There's a spider trying to eat your wires, and it's causing... What's that word? I messed this song because I don't know what the word is. Static! There you go.
Is that better?
Ah! No, it's worse. This week in CoTPodcast, Lagwyn's head is spinning, Kaysee's microphone is failing, and Naveen is going nuts.
So, but, I like to think of it in that lore perspective. That might be why. I think that might be stretching it a little bit in my trying to justify ArenaNet's moves with a lore reason. But I'm
What's the lore behind? We just kicked Canuck's ass in this dungeon and disabled tons of his traps, and for some reason now the Azura and his golem have somehow gotten in there. Didn't Keel think about, like, at least putting 2 Lion Guard at the front? Why would he even go into that little cave?
I didn't say. I mean, I can't vouch for Inspector Keel's abilities as a Lion Guard. I mean, she's apparently pretty good.
I love Keel. I think she's the most dependable woman ever. I would marry her. Like,
who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? That's her theme song. Go Beyonce on her.
Interior, she's the most dependable.
Okay. I also was gonna say I like that. I was right with that when we were guessing if that was Lady Casimir in the background of that. Image.
Yes, and I thought of you when I saw it. I was like, oh my god, he was right!
So that was cool.
One thing that's got people really...
Go ahead, Static Girl.
Really, kind of is the fact that her personality seemed to completely change, and I find this really frustrating because I found it really kind of affronting. Like, are they going to turn her into this character, which was when she was on South Sun Cove, she was like this really strong, independent woman, took care of herself, very tolerant of Farron, that sort of thing. And then when she's in this instance, she's like a little girl. Like, yay, I get to come along with you. I'm blonde, and just because I look like a Barbie means I should act like a Barbie. And, like, that sort of personality. And I really admired Casimir so much. I thought she was such a cool, strong, independent character, and then she acted like that, and I'm like, oh my god, please let that just be that she has this fangirl crush on
Logan.
What's her name? Majori or something like that. Yeah, like, so like she acts like that in front of her, but she's actually a strong independent in front of other people, because I would cry because she was such a good character. Like, she looked beautiful and she was such a beautiful person as well, like strong and tolerant, and now she's just a bimbo.
You know, you have to wonder if in Tyria everyone can be mentally insane or have mentally illnesses, like, you know, multiple personalities or even being bipolar, schizophrenic. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that when she puts on this like swimsuit, she like this bimbo's kind of swimsuit. No, that's awful word to use, that swimsuit. But when she puts on this like swimsuit, she's like this strong, independent woman. As soon as she puts on armor and she looks cool and she can fight the world, she's like,
Yeah, I noticed that myself because, I did like Casimir. She sounded like she was going to be, and we saw the picture of her in armor, and we knew who she was like, so I thought she was just going to be this badass chick.
Yeah.
And then she was like a little valley girl from the 90s, clueless, and yeah, it was a little bit of a shock to me. But, I mean, whatever. Voice acting is an ArenaNet strong suit, right, Naveen?
Brother Menlo.
Please, Serena, if I could make one wish this year, is that you give us Casimir as a strong female personality.
I think Marjorie is her name.
Yeah.
She has one. She's a little snarky though. I really like her.
Yeah.
I don't like the chemistry between her and Logan at first. Okay.
Really?
But
There's chemistry?
there was. And it's not jealousy from me. There was chemistry, okay?
Over obsessed girlfriend.
Nothing.
That's perfect. I kind of like looked at it kind of like I thought she was a bit older, like she kind of treated him like a mother or something like that. I didn't think that there was any sexual tension there.
Oh,
well,
come on.
I think
it was your classic
rewatch, okay? And the sliding of the gold into one's hand, like I was never here and all that. And trust me, sugar.
Yeah, I think you got that wrong, Naveen. It was I was never here.
Oh, please tell me somebody got those images. some after show gifts or something. But no, I mean it was that typical private investigator from like the 20s film noir thing where it's usually a guy is leaning back in his thing, he's got his his fedora down and he's smoking a cigarette and his feet up on the table, and then it was just another boring, it's raining outside, it was just another boring day until she walked in, and then it all starts up from there, and it was just they gender bended it backwards, but there was some like that, the PI and the girl always either end up getting together or she's a double crosser. So Logan Thackeray's too one-dimensional to be a double crosser. So
what do you mean?
Copycat face.
What? I don't know what you're saying. But anyways,
no.
that brings us to the thing that those cutscenes are really cool, and the fact that you can rewatch them with the new item that you get. Spoiler, by the way. That's okay. ArenaNet's used to giving that away.
If they do this kind of thing, like these kind of cutscenes, this should be a thing that they do. I would love this for Halloween, this coming Halloween with Mad King Thorn, and then like a book, we could review it.
Yeah,
that'd be.
Yeah, I have
that thing. Sorry, go on.
No, that's okay. Go.
No, you go.
Okay, I have a feeling that the book that we just got, maybe there's new chapters that are going to be added onto them, and then you're going to be able to select which chapter you want to watch.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. We need something like the Hall of Monuments where you can rewatch cutscenes. Something like that.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, because, I wish they had that in Guild Wars 1, rather than for last week's Lorecast I didn't go play through Eye of the North again to watch all of the cutscenes, to only need to watch the last 2 for the topic that I was talking, or last, 4. Played through all the Norn and the Dwarf.
It doesn't work in the Eye of the North, in the scrying
You can
pool?
rewatch the scrying pool videos.
Yeah.
I don't think you
but
can
there's
rewatch the actual cutscenes.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yes, I would like to play the rest of Guild Wars 2 in film noir. I want to, like, screw dragons. I'm going to become a private investigator for Divinity's Reach. I'm going to be part of Marjorie Delacroix's team, and we're just going to be PIs. And that's it. Like, everybody else can go fight the dragons, and I'm just going to deal with trouble with Divinity's Reach and Lion's Arch, and that's going to be my character's story. Everybody else can go fight Falcator. I'll keep you safe on the home front, guys. I got you. Don't worry about what's going on at home. I'll protect everybody in Divinity's Reach. I'll even just stretch to Lion's Arch, because, I mean, you wouldn't think that a government run by pirates, but, you know, ex-pirates, I know. But, you know, they would be able to keep this good of, you know, keep everything. I don't even know where I'm going with my conversation right now. You know, locked up and have good, you know, security and things like that. And, you know, I mean, we did see what happened in the Dragon Bash. So I'll take care of that. You guys go fight the dragons. That's my plan.
Okay.
Mr. Robot in the chat says, you, Marjorie, and Barbie. The three of us. We'll go. That'll be our new private investigator company.
Oh my goodness.
Marjorie and Barbie. Or Casimir, whatever you want to call her.
No.
So, yeah. So, okay.
Do we have anything else to talk about? No.
I guess,
It's very quiet here.
yeah, well, I'm waiting for comments. You guys just seem to be totally okay with me giving up on my fight for the dragons to become a private investigator.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it.
Alright then. Screw you guys, I'm going home to Divinity's Reach.
Oh, by the way, I didn't even know that you could burn other effigies around Tyria. It's like you just go on doing your story and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta find this one person, and then you go out in Tyria and you see this effigy icon on your map and you're like, oh, what's this? And then you can light it and then you start dancing. So it's like, you know, you're idolizing it, and then it's catching on fire. Then it gives you
I've never.
your you haven't?
Yeah, I've done it, but
Oh,
like
okay.
idolizing it with the side shuffle.
Yeah. And then you light it up, and then you have your achievement. Do you need more than one? Do you need to light more than
Need
one?
50.
50 to get the achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's only 30
What?
at one time, so you have to wait a day or go with multiple
Respawn
characters.
every 30 minutes.
Oh, is it every 30 minutes? Oh, okay. So you'd also do it with alts. You could do it
Servers.
different servers. Yep. So, but yeah, there's 30 in world at any one given time, and I think it's only explorable areas bordering city maps, like the main cities.
Hmm.
So like Queensdale and Kindarin Fields, Calnon Forest, Metro Province, things like that.
Anyways, I don't
Yes,
care. I got
exactly.
my wings already. Ha!
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
That's right.
So what did you-
Anyways.
What did you guys think about the about this content that came out?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that they added Logan Thackeray.
Thackeray.
Thackeray. They added Thackeray. And a cutscene. And a noir movie thing. Ah,
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah, it's not something to squeal over. It's pretty
What?
good, but the new content leading towards the Sky Pirates is pretty good.
How do you
But-
think this compares to Flame and Frost?
It's much quicker than Flame and Frost. It's a little bit too quick for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I couldn't play much of Flame and Frost, so I wouldn't be able to compare it much.
What do you think? How about versus South Sun Cove?
What happened
I'm
there
only
again?
picking these because
Carcass.
they're all part of the living story, rather than like
Yeah.
Halloween and stuff.
I have to admit, I absolutely love this new story aspect to it with the instances. Like, that is exactly what I wanted, but just with more people. Like, if I could invite friends, like, we all get on and we do it together and stuff like that. But I love the story instances because it kind of gave you a lot more story than doing a dungeon would allow. And you can take things slow and do things personally and go and inspect people's hair pieces, because that's what I love doing, and go and talk to people and stuff like that. So I like it a lot. I think I feel a lot more emotionally invested in it. At the same time, I feel like the Dragon Bash stuff is a little bit tedious, but that's my opinion, and it really doesn't matter what I think in that sense. And I'm really looking forward to what they're doing with the Sky Pirates.
Speaking of Dragon Bash, the Dragon Ball thing is really amazing. I hate PvP. I love Dragon Ball. I don't know why they would not keep that game permanently. I love it. And also, I'm going to brag a little bit. I had 200 gems left.
Mm-hmm.
I bought 2 coppers.
I know it's coming.
I got a ticket.
I hate you.
One thing I don't like, though, is that my staff has no particle effect.
Yeah. That's why, I was all for the Greatsword when I first saw it. And I love particle effects. So, I kind of just, if I get a ticket in the process of playing the game, I'll be excited, but I'm not going for a ticket anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was farming coffers to try and get a ticket, and
Static shock. Over here. Static Kaysee.
What's happening with your mic?
Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Australians.
Yeah.
Ugh.
better?
Yep.
Much.
I don't know what it is. I literally just whack things. I was like my USB. I flick my microphone.
Wow.
I whack this thing. I can't get it high enough.
Don't whack it again. It's gonna break.
And yeah, I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
An awful confession.
What's up?
I find Dragon Ball boring.
What? What?
I played it for like an hour, and then I felt like I was done with it.
Really?
Sorry.
What's wrong with you, woman?
I think I wouldn't mind seeing it be a permanent thing, but I kind of also almost like that it's not, because then it's one of those things that you're going to look forward to, assuming Dragon Bash is a yearly thing, which they pretty much said during the live stream. They couldn't actually say that, but they pretty much said that, yeah, we're trying to make it be a permanent, event in like a permanent holiday in the Guild Wars universe.
Yeah.
So I hope that that's the case. And I mean, I hope they bring Reaper's Rumble back for Halloween, because I love that. That was awesome.
I have to admit, I do like the holiday. They should be keeping things for holidays, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely agree with that, but I would like the ability to go in with my friends. If I make a party and I go into Dragon Ball, let me go in with my party. Even if they have to get auto-balanced to another team, let me join with my friends.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Because they haven't done that yet in all of the new custom PvP stuff that they've had happen.
I wanted to play with my husband.
It is very odd that they haven't added it, and there must be something difficult for them. There must be something in the code or the way it's made that makes it very difficult for them. Because why wouldn't you have added it by now? It's very odd.
I don't know. Maybe because it would have been unfair to players who would not be with a party. And you know how sometimes there are guilds that just, go in as team and they can communicate over raid call or whatever. And, they're much more stronger. But, I mean...
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
That's how it always was. If you were going to go jump into guild versus guild in Guild Wars 1 and you were just with random people... Or, even factions or team. Remember back when Team Arenas was a thing? Remember that? Before they changed it to Codex Arena?
Yeah.
You'd go in with a team, and if your team didn't have voice communication, you are at a huge disadvantage. Just like running a dungeon without voice communication. You can do it, but would it be more effective with voice communication? Absolutely. So, I don't know. That's just, but whatever. I would like to see them change that in the future and make it so that you could join with friends if you wanted to. But it is what it is.
I know it won't happen, but I wish that this game stays on permanently.
That was actually one thing they mentioned, now that I think about it, in the live stream, was the potential to add it in as a custom arena type. Which, I mean, you have to pay for a custom arena. You just add time to it. But to add that, they want to see that, nothing guaranteed, but maybe let's say I buy this custom arena. Well, tonight my custom arena is running Dragon Ball. Everybody pop in, we'll play some Dragon Ball.
That's a good idea, yeah.
That, I think, would be better than nothing. But whether or not they'll actually do that remains to be seen. Because then again, that will kind of cheapen the Dragon Bash, Dragon Ball feeling,
To make it feel like a genuine holiday that people are looking forward to, there needs to be some exclusive things that are actually fun, not exclusive things like pinatas that we don't really care about. You see exclusive things like Dragon Ball that we actually do care about.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're going to have to come up with a brand new story for Dragon Bash next year. Unless we bash another dragon between now and then, then we'll have more dragons to celebrate bashing. So I think that pretty much sums it up for us, guys. Next week is the 1-year anniversary of the show, but we're not going to promise anything because
we might actually deliver.
Promised something for the 50th show, and then we didn't do anything. And we promised something for the 51st show, which is today, and we didn't do anything. So I'm going to tell you that next week's the 1-year anniversary of the show, but I don't think we're going to do anything. But if we do, then you can have a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Yay!
But did we have a question of the week?
Oh, we should do that. Yeah, I'm just a little scorned after last week.
Okay, can I do the question of the week?
Sure.
Okay, here's the music.
Here's your question of the week.
So, question of the week, guys. What do you think we should do for our special episode?
Put it on the fans.
Put it on the fans. So, what do you think we should do for a special episode? And the best answer will get, however gold, will appear.
We'll find out next week. We'll do the spinner and we'll see.
And so you have to send us an email in order to win. Hosts, plural.
Yes, Al Cardellina, you can answer us on YouTube. You can answer us via email.
Or even in game. You can find us in game. Kaysee, Naveen, or Lagwyn, they all work in game. Send us a mail.
Sure.
So, yeah. Kaysee is Kaysee. Lagwyn is Lagwyn. Naveen is Naveen.
I just want to point out that Joel and R in the chat mentioned Guild Kite backpacks.
Guild Kite?
That's what she says, a backpack that, I don't know anything about it because I haven't seen it. But
it's basically like a backpack that has, but when you move, it unleashes and a rope comes off.
What?
And it floats above you. I've seen it in the preview. It's insane. It's it looks tacky, but it's there.
That's awesome. Oh my god. Look, Ma. Look at my kite.
and it would have
holding it. It's tied to their back, so it makes it look like a child with a balloon. When you tie a balloon to a child's wrist?
It would have the COT logo on it, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
So, if anybody can find a link of that, please link it to us. So
because I tried looking for it and I couldn't find it. So.
Wow.
All right. So I think that's it for us for this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming out and watching. Episode number 51, apparently titled "Lagwyn's Head is Spinning," which it is. I'm Lagwyn.
I'm Kaysee.
And I'm Naveen.
And we'll see you next time. I'm not going to even attempt to move around.
Yes, do it. Air guitar.